What if the real reason airships disappeared has nothing to do with safety and everything to do with what they could reach? The airship advantage. Early airships could travel thousands of miles, carry massive cargo, land almost anywhere, and float at low speeds over places airplanes can't go. And unlike modern aircraft, they didn't need runways. They were perfect for exploring the North Pole and could refuel almost anywhere. One of the first expeditions to the North Pole was done using an airship. These airships could even land on water. This is just for entertainment purposes and is not to be taken as fact or actual reporting. The North Pole problem. But here's the strange part. Right when airships became powerful enough to reach the true North Pole easily, every major nation suddenly signed treaties limiting travel there. No fly zones, no expeditions. Almost like they didn't want people seeing what's actually there. Other civilizations, ice wall. Were airships getting too close to whatever lies beyond the ice? Ancient civilizations, a hidden landmass, something our maps used to show until the maps mysteriously changed. After flying became commercialized and restricted, something classified for the elite. Whereas before, during the airship's time, people had free and easy travel, allowing for exploration and mapping done by the common man. The Hindenburg explanation. And yes, people bring up the Hindenburg, but it used hydrogen, not helium, because of a shortage. A shortage that conveniently forced them into using a flammable gas. And one disaster was enough to kill an entire technology. Sabotage, aggression. Since airships vanished, we've actually lost capabilities. The giants of the past were more advanced than today's blimps, almost like we regressed instead of advancing. It makes you think who is writing our history books, and how could we possibly fact check them? So the question is, did they stop airships or stop us from reaching something? Again, this is all just entertainment, but the timing is suspicious.
Where do we really live? Are we part of a colonization system that has existed for a very long time? And if so, what truly happened to the humanity of the past? If our past is a story invented to fit the mold of the world they built around us, then in what other matters have we been deceived? Perhaps history is not a sequence of events, but a carefully programmed structure. A closed circuit where the same errors, names and symbols are repeated under new disguises. A machine so ancient that no one remembers its origin, and so perfect that even human thought often works in its favor. We were taught to believe that we live in a free world, that we choose, that we decide. But the freedom we were offered is bounded by the geometry of the invisible dome projector. By the ice walls that separate us from the true horizon, and by a history meticulously woven to make us feel like the first, when in truth we are merely the eighth humanity after the resets. Each of those humanities was instructed to forget, to build temples upon the foundations of cities that had once been greater, wiser, more connected to the divine. Each reset brought new books, new names, new versions of the same deception. And what we call progress may be nothing more than a partial reconstruction over the ruins of a vaster world. We were told that the sky is infinite, and that what we see above are stars at an impossible distance. But the sky is not what it seems. It is a projection, a work of ancestral engineering designed to distract our gaze from the ground, from the origin, from the foundations where the footprints of giants still rest, and where the sealed doors of buried cities sleep beneath the mud. All of it meant to deepen our sense of emptiness and insignificance. Humanity lives under a script. The custodians, masters of language, emotion, and form, wrote that script on multiple levels, but they sealed the system in three: mind, earth, and the sky. They rewrote history, altered words, and programmed the light we see above us. And with that, they altered our perception of the real. For when language changes, memory changes. When memory changes, meaning changes. And when meaning disappears, we are disconnected from the source, from the soul, from the celestial lands. The first human beings of the new cycle, those born after the Great Reset of 1728, were readapted to their environment. They did not inherit books, but impositions. They did not inherit history, but revised versions written by the colonizers. The temples that once belonged to the previous humanity were renamed, their sculptures reinterpreted, their symbols emptied of power. They were turned into myths and myths into science. We were taught to look to the sky for answers, while the truth sank beneath our feet. But the mud does not forget. The water that once covered the temples still whispers through the stones, the names the custodians tried to erase forever. The cities buried beneath our own, the sealed doors 3 meters above the ground, the tunnels of a past that was never primitive. All of these are testimony to a reality that still resists and can still be seen around us. A few began to hear what the mental noise tried to silence. They learned to look without formulas, to think without permission, to remember without books. They discovered that the official history is nothing more than a mathematical formula designed to control collective perception, and that the true purpose of existence is not found in the false skies, but in the inner silence, the true source, and its connection to the celestial lands. For that, it is vital to remember who we were, to remember the ancestral lands beyond the ice, to remember the first humanity that walked beside the Creator Masters before the colonizers set foot upon these lands and turned them into a prison. And just as Great Tartaria was forged in the days when the colonizers fought among themselves, so it shall be again, so that the true purpose may be revealed.
Atlantis wasn't ruled by mortal humans. It was said to be ruled by demigod kings. At the top was King Atlas, the son of Poseidon, and his name still echoes today in the Atlas Mountains of Mauritania, the region many believe to be the true location of Atlantis. These rulers weren't just myth. They were said to descend from a divine bloodline, one that carried the power of Poseidon himself. But in ancient Sumer, Poseidon was known by another name, Enki. The parallels between these gods are almost identical, suggesting they may have been the same being, worshipped under different names by different civilizations. Many researchers believe Atlantis, Egypt, and even the Giza Plateau, once called Kemet, were part of a vast connected world, golden age of human civilization unlike anything since. A society not built on material wealth, but on inner power and higher consciousness. They protected sacred values and ran great mystery schools in places like Egypt and Peru, where gifted individuals were chosen and trained to unlock extraordinary abilities, telekinesis, psychic awareness, and powers we no longer understand today. It's said that when Atlantis fell, that knowledge was lost, or hidden, waiting to be rediscovered when humanity is ready once again.
The book is called The Navigator Who Crossed the Ice Walls. It was first written by William Morris in 1955, but this is a new version. Here's a picture of the 178 domes. Here's Earth in the middle. We've got the land of Mars. We've got the lands of Draco, Orion, Saturn, Oriasis, Pleiades. There's a place called the Ancestral Lands, and apparently that's where the last humans escaped. Here it is on the front cover, the Ancestral Republic. This is where the last humans escaped the Great Reset. But until we stop fighting each other and raise our vibrations, we're not going to get out of here. Are you joking? You mad?
Parasites can't get in there. They create like prototype beings and shit, yeah, to go in there, and they get fried to fuck. They can't even get in there to experiment or even take a fucking little swab, yeah. So what they've done, they've tried to work from the outside in, and they can't get in. So they've took the technology from that void plasma around there, right? Straight away, they put it over here, lands of Saturn, because that's the main black cube system, the most beautiful crystalline temple in the fucking whole system. They've put that there, and that joins over to here, to the black cube system in here. What that cube system, that hub there, thinks for you all in there.
Right, yeah.
Yeah? And all the time humans literally beg for AI, the more that would control you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Saturn. And all this black void shit.
Desire-based
The
system,
Nibrians, they mastered that black fucking plasma shit. Yeah? And the Anunnaki and custodians took it from them, and they used it for all their experimental grounds to make sure no one can go in there, because it's all secretive.
Yeah.
They don't want no one to know this shit.
A cult.
Yes. It's all secretive. Don't forget, loyalists and that on there don't know nothing about all this. They won't be allowed.
Yeah.
The
Don't
closest loyalists will get to is knowing a little bit about Mars. But how they travels to Mars, they make them think that they're going through fucking space and that. But they're not. They're going through a vortex here. Yeah. And you got like here, you got like the human colony.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, when everything got hit at the same time, human colony got first hit.
I bet.
Yeah? And that all got hit.
Yeah.
Now in there, you got a shitload of Arcturians and Syrians got full control of that. In that one, in Mars, yeah, and you know, you'll all be able to just go there. You don't have to get a train or a plane or a boat or a ferry. You know how to use transportation when you get back home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Boom, there you go.
Boom.
003 Anunnaki's lands. The lands of some of the most feared and advanced colonizers who have caused great conflicts and continue to make many beings suffer through wars, misery, and diseases due to their vile control. As we have already exposed previously, these beings have developed early under the Great Dome of the 178 worlds, and that gave way then to explore and colonize other lands in search of power and their thirst to be the most powerful beings of this dome. They are known for their pyramids to carry out the Great Reset. Today, in addition to helping the custodians in exploration and conflicts outside the Great Dome, also leaders who are still in their lands seek to carry out a future reset in the lands of the second ice walls and extend their power in the colony called Earth. They have also extended their lands northward into the independent lands called Endiku and Gilgamesh, and have set up bases and laboratories there as well. The central power lies in the lands of Erythra Thattasa, Babylonia, and its great base is located in Sippar, a crater that gives way to the interior where 8 different underground floors administered and differentiated by laboratories and technology studies of the other races would be found. In Nimrod are the lands of the leader who many follow and listen to in order to realize the next steps for the development of their species. Sumer is also another center, but here is another type of study that is unknown, although previously there were studies of the celestial lands, which they could never enter. Their civilization is so extensive that they are found in many points of the 178 worlds. Besides that, many of those worlds were colonized by them. Consequently, there are many beings that coexist in the great cities forged long ago and that possess great technology that is still unknown. Right, guys, so this was the Anunnaki's lands of this chapter. See how close they are to Earth. And right below, from Earth, we have the custodians, who are enemies, but they share the common goal to keep us enslaved. The lands of custodians, Baal lands. Another of the most important lands due to their great manipulation and control of other dome worlds throughout the Great Dome. For a great period of time they were considered the most powerful beings in this Great Dome, until the appearance of the Anunnaki and beings from Nibiru, Panlands. Mind you that God Pan stands for panic. When you get panicked, it's from the god Pan. It is known that the custodians, or at least much of their strength, is outside the Great Dome by finding and forcing creation of a passageway to the outside. Some theories tell that they regretted having done so, as they encountered hostility from the other side at several points and now fear losing everything they have achieved so far. This generates great uncertainty in all the other dome worlds, since it is known for sure what will happen when they return, for better or for worse. For this reason, the ancestrals, together with the Cassiopeans, took the opportunity to send many ships to the different worlds for exploration, since the most important beings, most of the real leaders, are focused on this new conflict together with the Anunnaki leaders. The last thing we were able to publish about these lands was about the exploration of Mikha, that hero who broke formation and headed directly to those latitudes under the darkness and fire of the custodians. Not finding any matter connector or portal, he has not been able to enter and ended unconfirmed with the destruction of his ship and possible death. The scanning achieved with the technology available at the time led to a better understanding of his dome world. Also, over time we obtained more information about this mysterious place that is worth analyzing. Its main area is the central core called Baal, which is surrounded by large walls and volcanic lava. In this great rock can be seen several craters from which also born portals into the interior. It is unknown what is found there. These are several advanced laboratories with genetics of the different existing races. Even races from outside this great dome have been recently added. The entrance-exit portals are unknown. It has not been yet possible to penetrate this area due to its great mystery and advanced technology. The custodians are known for carrying out colonizations of other races, squeezing their resources and eventually abandoning them, except in the case of humanity, who they do not want to abandon because they know their great spiritual potential and connection to the celestial lands could cause them greater harm in the future. So they're afraid of us, yo. That's why they can't let us go. Regarding their morphology, custodial beings have the ability to change their forms into different species. They have done so throughout all the cycles of mankind, also during wars. However, we can deduce that their form looks similar to the following. So they're supposed to look like this here, apparently. Yeah, creepy morphos. So there you have it, guys. These were the custodians who live the Baal lands. Catch you next chapter, yo. How you doing, peeps? We're back with Terra Infinita Nibiru, lands of Nibiru. These great and extensive lands live the Nibirans, very physically strong beings with a great advancement. The Cassiopeians added confidential information about these beings, and it was previously believed that they might be hybrid creation between custodians and Anunnaki, but it was recently concluded that the Nibirans may have penetrated their dome world and started exploring the worlds long before the custodians and Anunnaki. This would create a big question mark regarding the spontaneous advance of the latter. Therefore, it is possible that the Nibirans are behind all the plans and are actually the ones in control from the shadows. We are now analyzing the theory that the Nibiran beings are in fact those beings that brought technology and genetic modification to the custodian and Anunnaki beings so that their advancement has great leaps in time and they have been able to leave their worlds before the rest of the beings. Damn. So they could be like the big brain of everything. What the fuck? Alright. We do not have information about their leaders. We know that they could occupy the area called Marduk, and that the beings use dark masks and are of humanoid morphology. According to some studies, we can establish that they would be fish humanoids, but it cannot be confirmed even today. Their walls are impenetrable with the technology we have today, and it complicates the situation of being able to free humanity in case the Nibirans are behind all the technology used by the colonizers. The technology can be placed in the line of A5, therefore it would be very high compared to the rest of the beings. Some theories speak that they have reached the rank of A6. They are also responsible for many of the races have become extinct for their great wars and conflicts. The direct contact with humanity is also another question that we cannot solve at the moment. We also keep information about it that is being studied to confirm it exactly. Go, Nibiran motherfuckers. They might be like the boss of the custodians and the Anunnaki. Man, that's a wild theory. Hey, what's crackin', peeps? Today we're gonna dive in chapter 12, the sacred trees and the Anakim giants. Prior to the last reset, the known lands were beginning to contemplate the advance and development of an empire of strong structures, free energy, and overwhelming technology. The Anakim giants, who came from outside the first dome to mate with ancestral humanity pre-1728 and provide them with both technology and knowledge about the world they lived in and the dome worlds that awaited and watched around them, in addition to a strong advancement aimed at spiritual growth and the connection of the human soul with the celestial lands, or terra incognita, unknown land. In addition to this, the Anakim giants, who could reach 4 meters in height and their physical strength was enormous, also possessed a deep connection with nature and with life in all its splendor. Lovers of harmony, they could contemplate for several hours the sunrise on the many coasts found in our beautiful lands. They played a crucial role in the creation and maintenance of a balanced and prosperous ecosystem. This in conjunction with their exponential growth during the time when the custodians were not in power in a transitory way. The Anakim giants began to plant colossal trees that soared into the heavens, reaching incredible heights. These trees were not mere plants, but represented the pillars of life, sources of energy, and ancient wisdom, seamlessly connecting the heavens with the intraterrestrial energy. Their extensive roots reached into the darkest depth of the earth, which were not simple vegetal extensions, but were conduits of energy and knowledge that in turn generated a great connection with the surface world and the hidden subterranean realms. Beneath the surface was kept the greatest secret of this empire of the Great Tartary. Its basis cores developed and with sophisticated structures were there, where the known sun did not reach. There they were inhabited by giant human beings, and their greatest development was in these most secret corners based on free energy. The hollow earth, as the theory of extensions below the surface of the known continents is known today, is a rather old concept, is a rather ancient concept and often reduced to simple mythological texts and ideas that are intermingled with fantastic ones. Underground cities were full of vivid colors by a sweeping technology that illuminated the many tunnels leading to what was called in the face of ignorance as hell, the reality that life down there was full of light and energy around. When the 1728 reset by the custodians began to take shape, all the explosions, like the one that would happen later in Tunguska, occurred near these underground centers to annihilate all the technology that had been put in place there and that was feared by the parasites. The generator of the crystalline energy that was used to crystallize and store it provided inexhaustible sources of power for the cities, both underground and on the surface. The custodians and Anunnaki during the reset have taken it upon themselves to cut down and destroy all those colossal trees and seal all the entrances to these cities. The intention was clear. all memory of these ancient temples of exponential growth had to be erased. So then they repopulated the known lands with a new humanity adapted towards the ignorance that these cities and this great empire had once been forged, where their feet would later tread the lands of the ancestors and the Anakim. Alright chat, today we're gonna look at the lands of Jupiter. The beings of Jupiter, called Jovians, are generally hostile towards other races. They even coexist with the Anunnaki leaders and are totally influenced by them. One of our ships, the SCP-007, approached their walls on the lands of Pegasus, but it was not well received, even almost generating a great conflict between the walls of the two dome worlds. Consequently, any future expeditions were cancelled, and Jupiter was crossed off as a possible land for contact and mutual aid. In fact, it enters the list of mankind's enemies. Lands of Zeus is located in the center and is a large mountain whose peaks reach considerable heights, even above its walls. Ersa, Pandia, Thebe, Europa, Adrastea, Amalthea, Elara, Ganymede, Callisto and Metis are some of its most important lands. Jovians are located in most of their lands, and their population is well organized and distributed in each corresponding area. There are large cities, and according to our scans, it has been possible to intuit that there are very tall towers that capture any intrusion of ships approaching their coasts. They are small in stature and are identified by blue horns on their heads. Their technology is very advanced and their range is located at A4. They have really grown a lot over the past few years, thanks to the Anunnaki, who have delivered several weapons of destruction. The Jovians have also long engaged in genetic modification and experimentation with the human race from past resets. So these cocksuckers put their hand on us too. Damn. They also tried to do the same with their neighbors on Pegasus, and for that reason the situation between these two worlds is very tense. They also had their great internal conflicts, and for that reason many of them have died in past conflicts generated to divide them, based on the manipulation of the colonizers. We're back with part 2, chapter 16. The fire of 1666. The battle between Great Tartary and the Greys of Orion. Here are revealed clashes between two powerful civilizations, the Great Tartarians and the Orion Greys, who were in charge of the great human colony during the time of the war between the Custodians and the Anunnaki. During the time known as the 1600s, they wanted to start taking over energy systems and seeing the great development of the Tartars. A great scramble to regain control began, possibly by order of the Custodians. As London burned with fire, a series of other similar explosions and attacks broke out in other parts of the Anakim's underground cores, unleashing chaos and confusion on a grand scale. The Tartars would soon begin their counter-attack. In what we know as Moscow, Russia, there was a huge center that was attacked by fires that consumed large structures and libraries with ancient knowledge. Advanced defense technology was used to repel this part of the attack and not suffer great losses. But the same was beginning to happen in Beijing, China, and especially in Egypt. The Grey Beings tried to activate ancient Anunnaki technologies to increase power. The Tartars, aware of the importance these structures reflected, quickly intervened. The actual conflict between Greys and Tartarians during the fire of 1666 was a struggle for control of the energy grids, and the latter, with a great development based on free energy, had built a generating and conducting grid that maintained the balance of all known lands within the first dome. The Orion Greys, even trying with all their technology to destroy these centers, did not succeed and were partially defeated. This would also mark a before and after in their direct relationship with the custodial leaders in the future. There are also reports that the Tartars were tired of their increasingly frequent abductions of humans. The Greys, when really worried about losing their control, began to use time manipulation technology to try to destabilize the defense of Great Tartary. This caused great natural disasters and turmoil in many parts of the known lands. The Tartars returned everything to equilibrium over time. The conflict culminated in a state of attrition. Although the Greys caused great damage, they could not completely break the defenses of the Anakim. Although this conflict would be key to understand their technology to defeat them later during the Great War of 1728. Chapter 17, the 1728 Reset. Having lost the war against the Anunnaki, the custodians returned to find their most prized human colony in a state of great technological advancement and rebellion. Fearing they would lose control completely, the custodians again joined the Anunnaki in a treaty to plan a new reset. The reset was carried out through a great mud flood generated by the Anunnaki pyramids combined with controlled explosions to destroy the great cores and centers of the Tartars. During the chaos, some Anakim giants helped many ancestral humans to recross the southern passage and re-establish themselves behind the first dome in the ancestral lands and the Shaky lands. This would lead to the repopulation of the known lands by the 7th generation, the current new humanity. For this, many strict control changes, new diseases, and limiting longevity was absolutely paramount. The creation of the simulation of the universe in the same invisible dome with advanced technology was one of the most powerful modernizations of the custodians that absolutely challenged the new humanity on the understanding of their environment, thus creating several filters of fragmentation of society and technology and discouraging exploration, along with the total manipulation of the loyalists, group of humans located at the top of the hierarchical pyramid that would help these custodial beings against their own brothers for promises of all kinds. Of course, fucking puppets, all world leaders, politicians, right at the bottom of the pyramid, as well as monitoring systems, creation of artificial ice walls, creation and manipulation of the weather, especially in the latitudes near the dome, creation of military bases and development of custodial technology given to the loyalists, technological advancement system regarding generation of earthquakes in case of anomalous detection in areas bordering the dividing ice walls. So if they see you getting close there, they activate earthquakes, just like they do here. Because earthquakes, yeah, you guessed it, it's from them. Welcome back for another chapter, guys, with Worlds Beyond the Antarctica. Chapter 18, Osiris and the Independent Lands. What did we need to accomplish our last step? That our brothers changed their perspective and break the conditioning was key. Our forces could never liberate a people who defended their oppressor. In their minds, we would be the colonizers who put at risk their current state and also their lives. The custodial system was strongly implanted. The existing air pollution also hindered our mission. Although there was great resistance from several sectors, it was still not enough for us to act. Surprisingly, several other races visited us with the intention of acting against the custodial yoke that was really exhausting, as well as threatening their circles. All help was welcomed. The Pleiadians were interested in also being able to liberate the source and annihilate the oppressive races. Their system was closed to the second dome existing near the second ice walls, and the passage between the mermaid lands and the island of death was unfeasible. Not many could survive. The beasts that existed there, so everything had to be done by air. The Pleiadians had been under custodial power for some time and had left them on the verge of extinction. Their great technological development of ships and spiritual made them miraculously resist, and today they became a great free society. Being close to the celestial lands, they were also aware of some of the custodial attempts to enter. They have seen how they used humans on several occasions as well as other races. In the lands of Mars, there were several colonies of different races that had been moved by the Custodians and Anunnaki. The Custodians and the Anunnaki, they wanted to populate the place with several races where they were in control. The local race was undeveloped and had not put up much resistance in their colonization. The humans that were there now all belonged to the new humanity of the last reset, and all of them had earned their passage by the help given in different missions against their own brethren. We had labeled these lands as Noxious in reference to the future. The lands that were outside of any circle were really disregarded by the colonizers, as they considered that most of them did not have any mineral or race that could be of interest to the Custodians or Anunnaki. In fact, many lands had been overlooked in their travels, observing them very overlooked. This had generated that many races would begin to develop in these lands, as they were for a long time prosperous places, without the intervention of colonizing races. Then, in the period of the creation of the Great Pyramids and the exploitation in Egypt and Central America, some humans were sent to the lands behind the dome, together with custodial leaders, but they never revealed any passage, but were transferred with the use of hallucinogens and in altered states of consciousness, many of which were presented to them as different types of gods. So they drugged the hell out of them. Damn. The immense land of Osiris was the beginning of the end of the peace of the lands surrounding the Great Walls, along with the thousands of archipelagos in the deepest ocean known. Osiris, one of the custodial leaders, took a colony of humans to these lands, but they never let these humans manage to leave. They did not want them to ever discover important lands like Lemuria or Atlantis, since at that time there were still vestiges of human birth and their great advance that had been left there. Alright fam, so that was chapter 18 for y'all. Next chapter gonna be the last chapter. Chapter 21, the last great plan. Welcome back guys. What happened after 1728? Chapter 28, year 1729, repopulation of the continents. If we look in the official history books, we will find that this period that followed the resetting is called the Enlightenment, or Age of Enlightenment, since it was a time where the custodians began to repopulate the continents. Curiously, new theories about the nature of the Earth and the universe were beginning to take shape. How did the repopulation of the new humanity take place? The custodians and Anunnaki had selected to breed babies in their advanced laboratories. Their selection was exclusively based on genetics to have certain physical, intellectual, and emotional characteristics that they had previously stipulated. They also used accelerated incubation so that they would be ready to quickly introduce them to the known continents. Key areas were chosen for this, completely removed from any core regions of Great Tartary, until the final cleansing began to erase most of their structures and advancement. Areas of low temperature and stable humidity climates were chosen. Automated systems were also used that were prepared to assist in the care and development process of those children beginning the new cycle plan. Custodian agents monitored this breeding and supervised that the facilities were adequate. Teaching programs and technology were added for learning aimed at what was previously established for this new cycle. Over time, communities were created under this legacy and adaptation. Thus, custodians' agents began to monitor more and more from the shadows, as it did not require their physical presence. Chapter 29. First known exploration post-reset. Many years later, a small group of this new humanity that was beginning again on the known continents began a strange exploration. Their real motivation is unknown, into remote parts of Siberia. According to some stories left over from that time, it is said that they sighted a strange light coming from the surface into the bright blue skies, and that this attracted their attention enough to enter the areas of the harsh Siberian cold. After an extensive search, the 5 explorers found some caverns that branched into even more entrances to the underground part of the cave, reaching several subterranean levels. Clearly, these explorers had found one of the entrances that connected to the underground city of Great Tartary. With rudimentary rope equipment, they began the descent and began to notice that the further they descended, the more heat their surroundings emitted. The caverns began to change dramatically as they descended, going from rough wooden walls to smooth-walled rooms of gray and blue. Many insignias of an unknown language were also read on their walls, along with logos that they also could not decipher. But the 5 explorers were completely moved by this discovery and tried to bring this knowledge to the authorities. Although the story was simply taken as a mockery and the entire exploration was discredited, it is believed that this exploration started an alternative line of other explorations and theories about the world and its past. The scientific community was beginning to group together and generate societies completely rejected that an underground city could exist, much less beings living there. However, the custodians did not take this well at all and began to plan the total destruction of these underground cities, in addition to investigating if any group of Tartars had survived the reset and could interfere again with their colony that was beginning this new cycle. Representation of the tunnel systems to the gates of the great course of Great Tartary.
City streets passing by underneath stormy skies. Neon signs in the night, red and blue city lights, cargo trains rolling by. Once again, someone cries. Trains and winter rains, no going back, no going home. Trains across the land and in the sky, a star alone. Every time it's the same. One more night, one more train. Everywhere empty roads. Where they go,
taught that electricity was discovered in the 1800s. But when you look at the architecture of the old world, the story begins to fall apart. Cathedrals, government buildings, and city halls from the 1700s and 1800s are covered in copper domes, antennas, metallic spires, and grounding rods that look less like decoration and more like components of a massive electrical system. Many of these buildings sit on star-shaped foundations identical to the grounding patterns used in modern energy grids. Some have towers shaped like capacitors. Others have domes designed to collect atmospheric charge. So the question becomes, what were these buildings really doing? Here is where it gets even stranger. In the late 1800s, Nikola Tesla claimed the Earth's atmosphere is a natural conductor of electricity. He said energy could be drawn from the air itself and transmitted wirelessly with the right architecture. Now look again at the old world. Copper spires, symmetrical domes, giant coil-like towers, buildings arranged in perfect geometric grids as if tuned to the natural frequency of the Earth. Was Tesla reinventing something a previous civilization already understood? Ancient maps show cities glowing with electric light before electricity was discovered. Historical records describe arc lamps on streets that had no power plants, and entire World Fair cities were illuminated with no visible source of energy. Then suddenly the architecture changed. The domes disappeared, the spires were removed, and the buildings that once resembled energy devices were repurposed as churches, capitals, and courthouses. It is almost as if we inherited the technology, but not the instructions. So did the old world have electricity? Were these buildings collecting free atmospheric energy? And was Tesla not the first to discover it, but the last to remember it?
Is not for everyone. It's all fun and games and jokes on social media, but this shit is dangerous.
The Vimana, ancient flying fortresses. Many of these temples in India, now turned to stone, still display the technology of our lost past, the unmistakable resemblance to technology that we use today to achieve flight. Just look at the intricate detail. Those were all made for a reason. They were not carved by an ancient civilization with hammer and chisel. Just look at the striking resemblance to the technology we use today. And these pillars, many of them aligned with smaller and larger pillars, forming perfect gear ratios, just like our heavy machines today have. There is truly nothing new under the sun, especially with our technology. Just borrowed and repurposed technology from the old world. Question everything, friends.
Plasma, un gas ionizado dirigido que se encuentra naturalmente en el éter. fuego griego, láser de plasma, bombas atómicas y otras armas tecnológicamente avanzadas. Todo esto existió en el pasado, regresando a los tiempos descritos en la Mahabharata, ruinas de cristal y granito fundido. Busca tu historia, existe en alguna parte. Sígueme para más.
The pneumatic tube system is just one example. Aside from the tiny little tubes we have today at the bank, the old world had something much larger. Complete pneumatic transportation systems. Now they say it was only just a concept, aside from the numerous images of it used all over the world. Here's some of the photos of said construction of the concept. Notice how old and weathered all those brick tunnels look already. People standing around posing in suits. That was the story given when it was rediscovered in New York several years ago. Here's a photo of it just bricked off tunnels. But they had a tunnel system in London as well. Think of the tube, as it's called today. Also a pneumatic transportation system. And the mail service used it in various different ways. Here you see it transporting a child. Many relics of these were dug up with pictures of children. No surprise, you could mail children via the postal service. But of course, all that technology had to get unearthed and rediscovered. I believe personally, this system is still in use today by the world elites, or the parasites as I like to call them. Used in all sorts of nefarious ways, one can only imagine. Just think, with horse and buggy, no heavy equipment, they were building these tunnels, meters under major cities, and then just promptly abandoning the project and forgetting about it is quite laughable. One technology I still think they have hidden on the shelf. Question everything, friends. Until next time. This is Japan, in the old world, showing that same unified grand architecture we've found all across this realm, whether it's Japan, America, Europe, it doesn't matter. Same dome towers, the same ether gathering antennas. Before the last reset, we were all unified, all connected, and all a lot more advanced than our history books tell us. And of course, like all other lands of the old world, wouldn't be complete without the star forts, which there is many in Japan as well. As the infamous Napoleon says, history is nothing more than a set of lies agreed upon, and it's a set of lies they agreed upon. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
This is the secret the pyramids were hiding, and it changes everything we know about ancient Egypt. In 1925, a British archaeologist named Dr. Evelyn Harper discovered a hidden chamber deep within the Great Pyramid of Giza. Inside, she found a strange device made of an unknown metallic alloy, covered in hieroglyphs that no one could decipher. The device was shaped like a small pyramid, with intricate gears and glowing crystals embedded in its surface. When Dr. Harper touched it, the device activated, projecting a holographic map of the night sky, but not the sky as we know it. The stars were in positions they hadn't been in for thousands of years. The hieroglyphs around the device were eventually translated. They spoke of a civilization far older than Egypt, one that had mastered the stars and used the pyramids as a kind of cosmic antenna. According to the text, the pyramids weren't tombs, they were power sources, designed to harness energy from the universe itself. But the most shocking revelation was this: the device wasn't just a map, it was a key. In 2023, a team of researchers used modern technology to reactivate the device. When they did, the pyramids began to emit a low, resonant hum. The ground shook, and the sky above Giza darkened. From the apex of the Great Pyramid, a beam of light shot into the heavens. The device projected a new message: the gate is open. They are coming.
Have you heard of the hidden truth about the Bermuda Triangle? Watch this.
They've not been showing you this. The Bermuda Triangle is hiding a secret, and no, it's not what you think. Almost 3 times bigger than the Great Pyramid of Giza, there is a gigantic crystal pyramid under the surface of that region. Here is where it gets rather unsettling. This pyramid's material and behavior isn't like anything we find here on Earth. It creates powerful natural electromagnetic fields, which may explain the accounts of planes and ships vanishing. This is where things get scary. In recently uncovered documents from a government whistleblower, it said that researchers believe that this pyramid was built by an ancient, super advanced civilization known as the Atlanteans. The document specifically mentioned that the Atlanteans had mastered interdimensional travel and built this pyramid as one of Earth's gateways to another realm. Due to the disappearance of the Atlanteans, it has since become unstable and has been the root cause of many mysterious disappearances. This explains why so many ships and planes have vanished without an explanation. It begs the question, where did these Atlanteans go and what happened to their vast technology?
Where does the gateway lead to, and what happened to them?
This is the only proof that Earth has been reset, and it will send chills down your spine. In 1976, during tests with the Helios B satellite, NASA received an encrypted transmission coming from the Earth's surface. The problem? It originated from a point in the middle of the Indian Ocean, where there was nothing. The message was simple, yet deeply unsettling. Full reset. Units integrated. It was dismissed as interference. But one of the engineers, Malcolm Reeve, became obsessed. He swore it wasn't a glitch. It was confirmation. Reeve dug through old data and found something even worse. Similar transmissions in 1952, 1939, even as far back as 1888, before radio technology even existed. All followed the same pattern. All came from the same location. In 1980, Reeve vanished, but his son later revealed a note he left behind. We're just the latest version. The earlier ones are still active, just out of reach. That point of origin, it's now blocked on all official maps for reasons of international security. This might be the only real proof that our reality is poorly stitched together, and it's absolutely terrifying. In September 1917, a team of scientists from the University of Alberta, Canada, was investigating electromagnetic anomalies deep within a remote part of the boreal forest. That's where they discovered something impossible. A spot in the air where light bent the wrong way. There was nothing visibly there, but when you got close, you could see the faint outline of a tear, like a rip suspended in midair. They called it the 0 point. When they tossed a camera through it, the signal held for 12 seconds, and what it captured was a landscape identical to the one they were in, except the scientists appeared twice in the footage, standing in slightly different positions. One was motionless, the other was walking toward the camera with his head tilted down. In the final seconds, the entire image began to vibrate, like the space itself was on the verge of collapsing. The recording ended with a harsh, static pop, and a single corrupted frame stuck in a loop. The duplicate version of the scientist raising his head, his eyes completely white. In the early 1900s, a series of remarkable stone structures were discovered in remote locations around the world. These amazing artifacts, known as stone stargates, captivated the imagination of archaeologists, historians, and conspiracy theorists alike. Carved with intricate patterns and symbols, their true purpose remains shrouded in mystery. Ancient folklore, however, spoke of the stargates as devices used by civilizations from distant solar systems to travel across the cosmos. By the 1950s, almost all the stargates had vanished without a trace, fueling rumors of government-cover UPS and hidden agendas. Some theorize that governments around the world systematically confiscated the stargates and concealed them in top-secret facilities. Their whereabouts remain unknown. The enigmatic allure of these stone stargates persists, and the questions surrounding their existence continue to baffle researchers. As we delve into the past, the enigmatic allure of these ancient structures continues to leave us wondering about the untold secrets they might hold. Will we ever unravel the mysteries of these stone stargates? Or will they forever remain hidden in the shadows of history, waiting to reveal their cosmic secrets? Only time will tell. A única prova que temos de universos paralelos, e é absolutamente aterrorizante. Em 1954, um físico chamado Dr. Elon McBezos estava trabalhando em um projeto ultra secreto do governo chamado Projeto Looking Glass. O objetivo? Criar um dispositivo capaz de vislumbrar universos paralelos. O dispositivo era um enorme espelho circular, feito de uma liga metálica desconhecida. Quando ativado, ele não refletia a sala. Mostrava uma versão diferente dela. No início, as imagens eram inofensivas. Uma cadeira ligeiramente fora do lugar, um relógio marcando o tempo ao contrário. Mas então as coisas ficaram mais sombrias. Um dia, o espelho mostrou uma versão do próprio doutor, McBezos, mas ele parecia apavorado, olhando de volta com olhos arregalados e cheios de pânico. O reflexo moveu os lábios e murmurou: "Não confie neles." Desesperado, Dr. McBezos desligou o projeto e destruiu suas anotações. Mas o espelho era valioso demais para ser destruído. Ele foi trancado em uma instalação secreta para nunca mais ser ativado. Décadas depois, em 2023, um grupo de exploradores urbanos invadiu a instalação abandonada. Eles encontraram o espelho, ainda intacto. Curiosos, o ativaram. A princípio, viram apenas seus próprios reflexos, mas então as imagens começaram a mudar. Eles se viram em um mundo onde a sociedade havia colapsado, onde o céu era vermelho e onde seus sósias os observavam com olhares frios e sem emoção. A última coisa que ouviram antes do espelho se estilhaçar foi uma voz do outro lado dizendo: "Estamos chegando."
This man built a time machine, and it actually worked. Watch this.
This man built a time machine, and it actually worked. During the late 1800s in Toontown, Delaware, an inventor named Kirk Lazarus began the construction of a secret contraption inside his home basement. For years, he studied as a physicist at university, and became very interested in time travel, and believed it was possible. And in the year 1873, he completed the project, and decided to test it out on his friend named Justin Time. At the time, Justin just wanted to help his friend out and didn't realize what was to come. Once Kirk activated the machine, the whole room lit up, and when he came back to his senses, Justin was gone. Years would go by and Kirk kept the incident a secret until the year 1885, when he read a newspaper article about a research team finding the frozen remains of a man in Antarctica. But the odd thing to the researchers was that the body was carbon dated to be over 10,000 years old, but the frozen man was wearing 1800s-style clothing. Kirk realized that was more than likely Justin, so he would come forward and tell the public that his time machine worked. Unfortunately for Kirk, the authorities would end up raiding his house, but before they could reach him, he used the time machine on himself and disappeared. Kirk was never seen again, but many people believed he traveled back 5,000 years to the pyramids because there are several hieroglyphs that resemble Kirk's appearance.
If time travel is possible, why do authorities decide who gets to use it? Because
this is the only proof we have of time travel, and it's absolutely terrifying. In 1923, archaeologists uncovered a sealed tomb in Egypt. Inside, they found something that defied logic, a photograph dated 1987. It showed a man in modern clothing standing in front of the tomb, holding a camera. The man was identified as Elon Huck, a scientist who vanished in 1987 while working on a top-secret government project called Kronos. The project's goal? To unlock time travel. But it was shut down after Huck disappeared without a trace. The photograph had a chilling message scrawled on the back. I tried to stop it, but the loop is inevitable. Years later, in 1980, another photograph surfaced. This one showed Elon Huck, now decades older, standing in front of the same tomb. The date on the photo? 2025. Experts were stunned. How could a man exist in 3 different timelines? And what did he mean by the loop is inevitable? The final clue was found in Huck's 1987 lab notes. He wrote, "Time isn't linear, it's a loop, and I'm trapped in it." But here's the twist. In 2023, a team of researchers decided to open the tomb again. Inside, they found a camera, the same one from the photographs. When they developed the film, it showed a picture of them standing in the tomb, dated 2045.
He found this ring, a big ring, and didn't know what it was, but saw this strange writing on, these strange symbols on this ring. So then he and another person walked through it to look at the other side, and lo and behold, they got into some other severe, as if they walked into another dimension.
And this ring, so the audience knows, we're talking like what diameter?
It's probably 25 feet in diameter.
Mm-hmm.
And
the sphere was even larger than that.
Oh, as they walked into it, it was like a new world. Mm-hmm. As he explained in his diary, it was like a new world. And he couldn't figure out how he got from one place, in a closed sarcophagus almost, into this open area.
Is this a portal of some sort?
Well, today we would call it a portal or a stargate. I think we would refer to it today as a stargate.
Stargate.
But back in those days, in 1928,
they didn't know.
It wasn't. No, they didn't know what it was. But when he walked into it, it was as if he was in a new world. It was an open area, plush pastures. He sees a river, which he assumed to be the Nile, and he sees almost a movie occurring, showing people building these pyramids. And he's in there, he thinks, for maybe an hour, but when he comes out, he's been there for 3 days. He's been for over 72 hours because the crew that he came with were scared. They got out of that tunnel and got out into the open because they thought that they ended up on some other side.
Or it swallowed them up.
Or swallowed them up. And so, but 3 days later, they come back out.
How many of the team went with him?
Only 2.
Only 2.
But there was 6 other team members, 8 total. And so those other 6 left, but they stayed up in the area outside where they had an encampment. And eventually, 3 days later, the colonel and his assistant comes back out, and he talks of this new world that they found, and that he knows now how these pyramids were built. He knows where they are located. He knows that there's tunnels under each one of them, and he sees these strange-looking beings, and this is in his diary, strange-looking beings that are probably not from Earth.
Обратите внимание на реальные кадры с прямого эфира. Именно с этим туристом произошла очень странная история. Парень прилетел отдыхать на остров Крит, и в арендованном доме он случайно обнаружил загадочную шкатулку. Из любопытства турист ее открыл, однако то, что он там нашел, показалось ему очень странным. Он начал искать любую информацию о находке, и, как оказалось, у него в руках был фетский диск, который 90 лет назад обнаружили при раскопках на острове. Это был первый в истории человечества текст, который изготовили еще 1600 лет до нашей эры. Тогда никто так и не смог разгадать таинственные надписи на нем, а после артефакт и вовсе исчез. Посмотрите, как находка странно реагирует на тепло. Она издает синий цвет, а стоит ее намочить, то начинает светиться оранжевым. На прямой трансляции парень показывает, как диск притягивает к зеркалам и создает некий портал. По просьбе зрителей он кидает разные вещи и предметы в зеркало, и они бесследно исчезают. А в конце он решается зайти в зазеркалье и показать всем, что там находится. Это безумное продолжение уже опубликовано в Telegram.
This stolen dark web footage shows a girl opening a portal. But to where? Watch this.
Something really strange going on here, and if something ends up happening to me, I just hope that this video can maybe explain it. Okay, so I have these 2 mirrors in my room. As you can see, they're pretty normal looking mirrors, but I was cleaning and I had them kind of set up like this, and I noticed something really weird. Just watch. See, when you look through the mirror into the other one, it becomes like a window. and there's this huge warehouse grocery store or something down there. But wait, it gets even crazier. Watch this. The moment of truth. 3, 2, 1. Whoa. What the hell? What is this place? Hello? How far does it go?
You might just be able to catch a glimpse of what's on the other side, but if you look closely,
if I told you that time zones aren't just about keeping track of time, and that they were created as part of a secret global experiment for psychological manipulation and control. Time zones were invented not for convenience, but to keep different regions of the world in mental separation, creating artificial divisions that affect how we think and feel. Back in the late 1800s, when time zones were first standardized, powerful officials and early industrial moguls realized that people's energy, productivity, and even emotions were highly sensitive to synchronization with the natural rhythms of the day. If they could separate populations by hours, keeping people in different states of time, they could control the collective mood of entire regions. For instance, some time zones are intentionally kept out of sync with their true solar time, causing low-level psychological dissonance. People in different zones feel subtly disconnected, mentally isolated from each other, even if they don't realize it. The ultimate effect, a world population that can never truly unite or synchronize. This is a joke for entertainment. Good God, don't come for me.
there are fake towns in the middle of the Atlantic. Watch this.
Wait, you're telling me there are fake towns in the middle of the Atlantic?
Yeah, listen to this. There's an island called Halcyon Ridge, completely hidden from the outside world, controlled by a private organization called Vanguard Initiative. Decades ago, they bought the island and turned it into one massive, twisted experiment. They built towns straight out of a 1950s postcard, perfect houses, white picket fences, happy neighbors. But it's all a lie.
The people living there?
They were either orphans raised in total isolation or, get this, grown from embryos in secret labs. From birth, they were brainwashed to believe that a global disaster wiped out the rest of the world. As far as they know, Halcyon Ridge is the only safe place left on Earth. If someone starts asking too many questions, Vanguard Initiative steps in fast, either reprogramming them or making them disappear altogether. And just so we're clear, this is all for entertainment purposes, right?
Just what are they experimenting for? Because...
What if I told you there are cities on private islands stuck in other time periods, where the 1950s, 60s, 70s, and 80s never ended? It all started decades ago as a social experiment funded by billionaires and governments to create isolated micro-societies locked into specific time periods where citizens would be kept completely in the dark about any technological or cultural advancements beyond their assigned decade. There's an island where everything is still 1950s, Americana, the cars, the music, the fashion. Citizens there have never heard of the internet. Space travel is still a distant dream. and television is a luxury with only a few channels. Just across the ocean, you'd find another island, locked in the psychedelic 60s, in the midst of the hippie movement, where everyone's wearing tie-dye shirts, completely unaware that the world outside has moved on. This is a joke for entertainment. Good God, don't come for me.
Good morning, everyone. Here I am at Area 51. Just look at this beauty. It's been here for almost 40 years. Not a secret anymore, thanks to Donald Trump. Let me switch to the front camera. I'll show you this wonder. It's not even metal. Scientists say it's something else, but no one will say what. All right, that's it for today. Stay tuned, because in the next videos, we'll show you who's actually flying these things.
Good morning, everybody. Let me show you something. I am not allowed to say where I am right now, but check this out. We call it the sport model here. All right, hear me out. This thing has been levitating with anti-gravity for over 70 years. Under the new declassification law, we're now authorized to gradually reveal what's been hidden from the public for decades. Okay, guys, I'm out. Catch you soon.
found another advanced world just outside of Antarctica. They don't want us going there. Once you understand, there's more land beyond Antarctica. What's another word for more? Extra. What's another word for land? Territory. Put that together in a word, extra terra. If somebody came from the extra terra outside of Antarctica, we might call them an extraterrestrial from the outer space.
These people inside the Hollow Earth have been living there for 2,500 years. There is one continent inside the Earth and one ocean. Their capital city is built around the original lost Garden of Eden. The vegetation grows like a paradise. The people live to be up to 800 years old. They communicate with telepathy. The inner Earth people have built these androids that fly their flying saucers out to reconnoiter the outer Earth. Our government has been knocking flying saucers out of the sky and back engineering these flying saucers. The people that live in the Hollow Earth are not extraterrestrials. They're from the lost tribes of Israel.
Okay, you guys remember how I showed you the maps that were here on Earth before 1958, before the governments took them out? And I'm going to show you the Encyclopedia Britannicas in the public libraries before 1958. Here's volume 2 out of the alphabet A. And we're going to flip to the Antarctica, and this is from 1958, as you can see. Now, we're going to flip to the Antarctica and see what the Encyclopedia Britannica from 1958, before the Antarctic Treaty, says is there. Now, you won't find this in the new encyclopedias because the government's banned them. But what I want you to notice right here is, notice how it says the flights proved inland areas to be featureless in character, with a dome 13,000 feet high.
We need to talk about this. This is granite carved to perfection. It requires a diamond tip drill bit, which they did not have 1,000 years ago. Now, a lot of people jump to ancient aliens or some conspiracy theory. Understanding their tech would be like trying to explain a cell phone 200 years ago. So I'm going to explain it with cymatics. If you follow me, you know that this is vibrating water on a speaker, makes these cool patterns. But cymatics can decode everything you see. This is the Konark Sun Temple. I think you know where I'm going with this. This is exact, it's not close, it is perfect. Let's take a look at the pillars. That is a sound wave, that is a sound wave, that's a 3D sound wave. Our culture is obsessed with the how they did it, but we gotta look at the why they did it first. Another important concept, sound travels through the air in spheres. And if you take that sphere and you track it through time, it starts to look like these very complex pillars. This is one of our acoustic resonators that we use today. This is a Hindu temple. This is a high-frequency oscillator. It's used to keep time in digital devices. If we go across the pond to India's neighbor, we come across this cool temple called Angkor Wat. Left is the sensor, right is the temple diagram for Angkor Wat. If you're like me, you grew up thinking that these were just myths used by religion to keep society under control. And that's true if you don't have the piece that connects it all. Use your eyes to decode the manual and discover your purpose. Granite's pretty hard to edit.
et Benashta.
Recovered from a 2,000-year-old Roman-era shipwreck, the Antikythera mechanism is a clockwork device of breathtaking complexity. Historians call it an astronomical calculator, yet its system of over 30 interlocking bronze gears, including differential gears not thought to exist until the 14th century, defies the known technological capabilities of the time. Ancient Greek myths speak of the god Hephaestus crafting living automatons and intricate devices. Perhaps this machine is not a human invention, but a relic from the workshop of the gods, a piece of technology inherited from a source history has forgotten.
Was Japan bombed during World War II to hide traces of old world Tartarian buildings and structures? We all know or can look up the official reason for World War II. But was the destruction and therefore covering up of old world technology at least an ulterior motive? After all, was it really necessary to lay waste to entire cities towards the end of the war when it was almost already won? You can see that similar to Germany, Japan looked better prior to the war than it does today, even with so-called modern technology. And while there's theories that nuclear weapons aren't quite what we're told they are, that doesn't change the fact that Nagasaki and Hiroshima were completely leveled. Not to mention even more damage was done to Tokyo due to persistent carpet bombing. It It was such overkill, it seems it was about more than just winning a war. And as well as depopulation, it was about cleansing the earth of an advanced civilization that existed before us.
This is the 1876 Centennial International Exposition in Philadelphia. This was the first official World's Fair to be held in the U.S., complete with even the Statue of Liberty's head and arm, where you can actually climb up inside there. Now, like the narrative behind all these amazing World's Fairs, it only lasted 6 months, from May up until November. Now, they are telling us that this whole World's Fair, with its over 200 buildings, took just under 2 years to construct. Now, all of these structures, inside and out, does any of this look temporary to you? They claim that over 10 million people visited this World's Fair in its 6-month span. Can you see those free energy towers working here? Magically, all this built before the first power tool in 1889 was even invented. 284 acres, 200 buildings, less than 2 years, no problem apparently. But check out some of these unique free energy antennas you'll see on top of the horticulture building here. Yep, this whole massive palace was a horticulture building with a second floor promenade. And those ether antennas, I kid you not, they tell us those are just ornament flagpoles. I have so much more on this, it'll definitely warrant a part 2. With that said, question everything, friends. Until next time.
You. Wait, this isn't natural.
It's a hidden entrance. They've been using this mountain.
Those are trains, there are people, like nothing's wrong.
Yeah. This isn't a myth, they really live here.
Oh my God, this isn't a myth.
They built a whole world down here, while we're up there struggling.
It's paradise, underground paradise, for them.
Nobody would believe this footage.
They've been preparing for something, I think.
So this country in Antarctica,
what about it?
How long has it been there? Why doesn't anybody know about this?
Buddy Agarthia is at least 10,000 years old. Look, when we first encountered the continent, they were already there, right? There's really no definitive way to measure how long they've existed, but look, obviously the highest ranking intelligence authorities are well aware of this place, okay? And the restrictive Antarctic treaties are the reason nobody else is. Look, the Agarthians, they don't want us in. They live within a city built on inconceivably complex architecture, okay, pyramid-based energy systems that are reminiscent of ancient Egypt. Look, things we don't understand. We do believe that they have trade routes which lead through and beyond the ice wall, okay, connecting them to civilizations far out into the depths of the unknown lands, right? They are the bridge to a world which we have been closed off from, okay? They control the entire goddamn parameter of the ice wall. We've been studying them for decades to the best of our abilities, but it wasn't enough, and so, well, the CIA did the unthinkable, right? They captured a native Agarthian.
So the government captured one of these native Antarctic people, or Agarthians as you call them, and interrogated them.
I mean, look, they had been studying this rogue country within Antarctica for decades, right? Of course they captured one of the natives. How else were they supposed to get any information on the place? Look, regardless, the things that they found out in the conversations that followed suit, right, were just, it puts history in a different perspective. Let's put it that way.
Wait, they were talking to this person?
Well, look.
I mean, wouldn't these people speak their own language?
Buddy, just because they have their own native language doesn't mean they don't understand others as well. Look, after they detained him, right, they figured he was going to speak in some kind of uninterpretable tongue, so they sent in a linguistic expert by the name of Pete Richards to do the interrogation, right? And so Pete sits there asking him all kinds of different questions, right, about their society, about who they are. But the guy just wouldn't say a thing. He was completely silent, right? Up until the point where Pete pulls out these pictures the agency had taken of this country's pyramids, right? And he sets the picture down as he says, "Can you tell me about these?" The guy didn't really budge, right? Like he didn't want to engage. And so Pete says, "Listen, we've seen structures like this before." He pulls out an image of the pyramids from ancient Egypt and shows it to him. And for the first time, the guy's expression just completely shifts, right? Like he was seeing something that he'd somehow seen before. And as he's staring at the image, he goes, "Second." Pete's just shocked. This guy had finally spoke, right? And as he's just staring at him, a higher up agent in the room quickly says, "Pete, what the hell's that mean?" And with a kind of just wide-eyed, shocked expression of disbelief, Pete says, "It's Egyptian. It means old friend."
You're claiming you are a descendant of Agarthia, this country in Antarctica. I mean, can you elaborate on that?
I mean, look, for the majority of my life, I had no idea. Look, I grew up in Wisconsin, right, with two albino parents. And I know that's not the case for everybody, but, you know, when I was a kid, they would tell me these stories about this place, this kind of icy, white wonderland, right, where everybody looked like us, with grand pyramids and all these wonderful things. And I mean, I was a kid, right? I believed it. But as I'd gotten older, they told me these were just stories, right? Things they told me to make me feel better because we were different, right? And I guess that took some sense of identity away from me at the time. But, you know, I moved on with my life and got over it. But 15 years ago, a couple of weeks before my mother passed, God rest her soul, she brings me to a lockbox she had in her closet. And she goes, "Tommy, we got to talk about those stories Dad and I used to tell you as a kid." And before she even showed me anything, right, I just kind of knew, you know, and I said to her, "Mom, why'd you keep this from me for so many years?" Right? And she goes, "Because we aren't supposed to know that back when our original ancestors migrated from these Antarctic nations to the known lands, they had a sort of pact to never mention where they came from, right? Out of not only loyalty to the Agarthian Empire, but fear, right? From these immigrant point of views, Lord knew what either of these governments would do if they found out. And so they kind of migrated into parts of Europe, Africa, eventually America, and let the knowledge of their origins die off within 1 or 2 generations. But look, some bloodlines chose not to, right? And she goes, "Our bloodline, Tommy, our ancestors have been passing these truths down since we arrived in the 1600s. You know, overpopulation at some point, probably sooner than later, had became a sort of issue, right? And so you had this sort of mass exodus of people from Agarthia, right? The mainland kind of utopian nation into these other neighboring societies, right? I mean, for lack of better terms, they were basically kicked out, banished, poverty-stricken. This was the original motive for their migration. And so, as you could imagine, when these ancient Agarthians first migrated over to these other parts of the world, right, this was the first time that they began experiencing rapid aging beyond the point of adult maturity, let alone death, right? I mean, they didn't know what was going on. Look, just to give you a little bit of their perspective, in one of the diaries that was passed down in my family, right, they referred to something called the sun curse, right? They actually believed that they were cursed for leaving the motherland, right? That's why they were aging, okay? They wrote about these places as the land of the dead, right? They didn't understand the concept of natural passing, you know, until eventually enough generations passed to normalize it. But I mean, you know, what a horrific transition for the originals.
buồn để lại quê hương. Tuổi còn bơ vơ thế giới ngục tù chiến tranh hận. Tuổi còn bơ vơ thế giới ngục tù chiến tranh.
one of the UFOs they recovered here at Area 51. I can't believe I'm actually seeing this. Look at it, it's alive or something. Oh, shoot.
UFO phenomenon.